How about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And the New Jersey Devils return back to the Rock, fresh off of a home-and-home sweep of the Minnesota Wild, looking to make it 3 in a row against their bitter rivals from across the river, the New York Rangers. That is right, my friends. The latest chapter of the Hudson River rivalry going down at the Rock, a Saturday matinee, 12:30 start, and your New Jersey Devils got one step closer to the playoffs and pushed the New York Rangers one step closer to their playoff grave, delivering a beautiful smackdown by a score of 4-0. I must ask, I must know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Whew, I was at this one. This one was a beautiful one. Love seeing the Devils beat the Rangers in person, and this one was just what the doctor ordered. The captain coming up big, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meier. You know I love some Timo time. I mean, so much to get to. Jacob Markstrom with the... Wow. What a game. What an atmosphere. We get to the game. First period, not a ton of action. I thought the Devils were dictating the pace earlier on in the period. The Rangers kind of came back to life a little bit towards the end of the period. But we finished the first period scoreless, with the Devils registering 7 shots on goal and the Rangers with 4. They didn't get their first shot for a pretty good amount of time into the period. I was wondering if we were going to see another one of those sub-20 shot type games for a Devils opponent. That, unfortunately, was not in the cards, but the result was there. But scoreless first period. Devils 7 shots, Rangers 4. We head to the second. Devils on the power play, and wow, this one was... Devils on the power play. Nico Hischier wins the offensive zone faceoff right back to Luke. Luke takes a stride forward and kind of freezes the D for a split second because I think that the defenseman thought he might rip it, put the shot on goal. Instead, Luke just passes it right over to Timo in the right circle, and Timo is locked and loaded for the one-time blast.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Timo Meier. Wow, what a blast from Timo. His 23rd of the season on the power play from Luke Hughes and Nico Hischier at 10:56 gives your New Jersey Devils a 1-0 lead. And the arena finally woke up at this point. I did think the crowd was a little weak. Obviously, it was a very close split between Devils and Rangers. I would say it was either 50-50 or maybe 60-40 in favor of the Devils. But I don't know if it was the early start or what it was. But for whatever reason, the crowd didn't seem that jacked up, in my opinion, earlier on in the game. And, this was the first sign of life, the first monster play of the game. And Timo gives them the 1-0 lead. I'm feeling good at that point. The Rangers just didn't seem to pose much of a threat, at least to me, throughout most of the game. They had a couple chances. Markey made some good saves, but in the end, it seemed like they were just, not up to the challenge that was ahead of them for this one. Less than a minute and a half later, refs call a penalty on the Devils, probably looking to get the Rangers right back into it. I'm like, it is what it is. There was a lot of stuff not called on the day that I thought could have been, and I thought this was going to be one of those games where they just kind of let the boys play. I think they did for the most part, but they did call a couple penalties. So penalty called on the Devils, and while shorthanded, Brendan Dillon is deep in the D zone with the puck on the wall. He passes it to Bratt. Bratt comes flying up the ice with Nico in a 2-on-1. Bratt passes it to Nico in the neutral zone, and then Nico brings it in, does a little hesitation move, makes it look like he might shoot for a second, again, freezing the defender just for enough time, passes it across to Bratter, who's breaking to the net, and he puts it past the sliding Shesterkin for the shorty.
Jesper Bratt, tit-a-tat, where my boy at?
Jesper Bratt, where my boy at? Bratter's 21st of the season, short-handed from Nico Hischier and Brendan Dillon at 12:23, gives the New Jersey Devils a 2-0 lead. This play was beautiful from start to finish. Brendan Dillon on the wall just gets a simple pass to Bratter. Bratter comes in with Nico, gives it to him. They come in on the 2-on-1. Nico executes his portion beautifully, gets it over to Bratt. Bang. Back of the net. Devils up 2-0. You'd love to see it. That is how the period would end. Devils registering 5 shots in that second period, and the Rangers with 11. So through 2 periods, Rangers 15 shots on goal, Devils with 12. Fairly close, in that department, but the Devils, from watching the game, it just seemed like the Devils were in control, more so than not, and head into the third period with a 2-0 lead to show for it. And I'll be honest, there's been some games where I've been nervous about the outcome of the game with a 2-goal lead going into the third or even a 2-goal lead in the third at some point. I just wasn't, remotely concerned for this one for some reason. I don't know why. I probably should have been. But being at the game, I just thought the Devils were kind of owning the play. And after 2 periods, I was like, this game is ours. Markey looked like he was in the zone dialed in. Again, a couple big saves. We head to the third. We head to the third and final period of the game. Devils in the O-zone. Timo just fires a sharp angle shot towards the net that misses. It wraps around the boards and comes to Seamus Casey at the point. Love me some Seamus Casey. Seamus Casey takes a couple strides towards the goal, and he just fires a beautiful cross-ice pass to Timo down low, who snaps it right in past an outstretched Shesterkin.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Timo Meier, baby. Timo time again. Timo Meier strikes for his 24th of the season from Seamus Casey and Dawson Mercer at 14:59, giving the Devils a 3-0 lead, and this one was beautiful. It wasn't obvious right away that it got past Shesterkin because the way he was laid out with his pads, it looked like he may have stopped it, but after Timo kind of spun around the goal, he looked down and he did he tried to whack it in to be sure, and as he went to whack, I think he saw that it was in, and you saw him celebrate, and there was a delay on the siren going off and the goal horn as well, but what a beautiful play by Seamus Casey to Timo down low, and you'd love to see it. Timo with his second of the game, 24th of the season, and at that point, it was a wrap. 3-0 Devils lead. Third period continues. Late in the third, they pull Shesterkin a little early, obviously desperate to win the game and desperate for offense. Couldn't score a goal to this point. Bratt comes in on the empty net, and it looks like he's going to put it in on his backhand. I don't know why he was so kind of lackadaisical about it. It was very bizarre to me. I thought that he should have had a little more emphasis. I don't even know if he was trying to pass to Nico or if he just was trying to put it in just a weak little shot. I don't really know what that was about by Bratt, or he should have just slammed it in. But either way, he goes with this backhand, and Vinny Trocheck's able to kind of sweep it out of the net, and it hits the post and goes right out to Nico Hischier, who's trailing, and it just deposits it into the empty net.
He's pretty and he lives in Jersey City. Number 13, Nico Hischier.
Number 13, Nico Hischier. The captain, Nico Hischier, gets his 35th of the season on the empty net, assisted by Jesper Bratt, giving the Devils a 4-0 lead at 16-12. And that is how the game would end. Your New Jersey Devils finish the season series 3 wins and 1 loss against the New York Rangers, outscoring them by a beautiful margin of 16-4. What a dominant series by your New Jersey Devils against the Rangers this year. 3-1 and outscoring them on a 4-1 ratio, 16-4. Gotta love it. It was an absolutely just beautiful performance. And your New Jersey Devils have now won 3 games in a row and are 1 step closer to clinching a playoff berth. We'll come back to that in a couple minutes. Look at the game stats. Rangers, 26 shots on goal. The Devils with 16. Got to get more than 16 shots. They made the most of them, obviously, scoring 4 on 16. One of them was an empty net. So, if you want to, take that away, you're talking 3 goals on 15 shots with a goalie, which is good for 20%. Sign me up any day. Shesterkin's save percentage in this one, absolute stinker. But Devils got to generate more shots. Glad it didn't hinder them last night. Face-offs, 50% each, exactly down the middle. Rangers go 0 for 2 on the power play, and the Devils go 1 for 2 on their power play. Love to see the penalty kill come up in power play, 1 out of 2, 50%. Sign me up for that all day, every day as well. Rangers with 24 hits, Devils with 21 hits. Devils and Rangers both with 11 block shots each. Rangers with 13 giveaways, the Devils with 19 giveaways. Another game they just give away a lot of pucks. Got to cut that down, especially going into the playoffs. Rangers with 5 takeaways, and the Devils with 3 takeaways. And what a beautiful win. What a beautiful season series. What a beautiful 3-game winning streak. Jacob Markstrom, guys, my man Marky, he's super close to that December-January form. I'm not going to say he's totally back yet because, in my opinion, he has to be tested a little bit more in some of these games for me to declare that he's fully back. But he's 95% back, in my opinion. Stopping all 26 shots the Rangers got on goal last night in the shutout. His 2nd of the season against the Rangers and 4th of the season. Let's give it up for Jacob Markstrom, guys. This guy has been... Glad to see him finally getting back to the top after his injury. It took some time, and I was a little frightened, but Marky is back. It took a little while to work through that, maybe shake off some of the rust, but he looks like he's back, and he is only the 2nd goaltender in New Jersey Devils history, my friends. 2nd goaltender in Devils history to shut out the Rangers twice in the same season. And who is the other goaltender who he joined, you may ask? And I would tell you the obvious answer, the GOAT, number 30, the great Martin Brodeur. Only other goalie in Devils history to shut out the Rangers twice in one season. Marky is in the elitist of company. And wow, what a game. I am still fired up. Like I said, I was at this one with some of the boys. Shout out to Steve, Joe, Drew, and Nick. We had a great time in the lofts. Actually did a little vlog on it. If you're interested to see some of the stuff at the game, check that out. I'll put the link to the vlog in the description. But what a game. What a game. And despite what I would call a somewhat lackluster crowd performance, if you will, if I'm being honest, I would give our home crowd today probably a C. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that it was diluted by so many Ranger fans. So, I mean, that goes into it. But overall, I don't know if it was the afternoon start or whatever it was, but we got to be better. We got to be much louder and much more activated come the playoffs. We got to do our part. We're the seventh man out there. Got to make the home arena of the Prudential Center a hard place for visiting teams to play, and especially playoffs. Playoffs is huge. Home ice is huge. Teams got to feel it. The visiting teams got to feel the heat when they come to our barn. So hopefully we could kind of get a little more rowdy and loud during the playoff games, which I think will happen naturally. But what a game. I mean, I'm fired up. Still fired up. The Devils are now 3 points from clinching. The magic number of 3. I think they would clinch on Tuesday if the Columbus Blue Jackets and Rangers lose their next games in regulation and then the Devils beat the Bruins Tuesday in regulation. I believe that clinches for us. I might have been missing one little component. But the magic number's 3, basically, between Devils got to win, and then we need a couple losses to make it happen sooner than later. But we're almost there. We are so close to clinching. I cannot wait till it's official. I think that the odds makers, the people I've been making fun of for quite a while now, have our odds at like 99.9%. It would take a series of miracles and nightmares for us to miss the playoffs at this point. We would essentially have to lose out, I think, and a team would have to win out. I mean, it's just a statistical improbability of the highest form. But I will be able to breathe much easier and sleep much easier when our ticket is officially stamped to the playoffs, and we are going to face the Carolina Hurricanes, my friends, in round 1. Oof. I want to knock them out so bad. If there was ever a year to catch them, I think it's now. But things to be excited about. This New Jersey Devils club, again, embracing playoff hockey, have found a way. And just when we thought it was over, no, my friends. We're just getting started. 3 wins in a row, putting the Rangers close to death for the playoffs, and wow, a huge chance, and I don't want to even talk about it, but I'd be remiss if I didn't. I have to talk about it. Yet another chance to get the monkey off our back. The elusive 4-game winning streak that has not happened since January of 2023. We are now 2 full calendar years and nearly 3 months, roughly 27 months, since the last time your New Jersey Devils won 4 consecutive games. And they've had tons of cracks at it. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe they've had minimum double digits, at least 10, maybe even more, 3-game winning streaks where they failed to win the 4th game. It's one of those weird things. We've had some chances to win the 4th in a row where it was against a weaker team where everyone's like, this is when we're finally going to do it. And I hear some of you saying the same thing about the Bruins. I always say, guys, in the NHL, anyone can beat anyone on any given night. And while the Bruins are just in a complete collapse, I mean, my heart goes out to Bruins fans. I mean, my God, they had it so good for so long. So, I mean, they can't complain too much. They had such a run where they're just a competitive playoff team every year for so long. But now the wheels are starting to fall off the thing. And, the first big blow was obviously when their captain, Markstrom, was traded to Florida at the deadline. And since they've just completely fallen apart. Swayman's not living up to the contract they gave him. It's all just falling apart. They traded away some other guys, but wow. Can the Devils just give them yet the latest loss on their season that has quickly gone to hell and finally get the monkey off our backs? I want to see the 4-game winning streak so bad just because it's been so long. And in the end, does it have any true significance by itself? Not really, but I do think that will be a huge morale boost for the players and the fans. It's something we haven't seen in that long, and it's crazy. We're not talking about like an 8 or 10-game winning streak. Probably almost every team in the league has a 4-game winning streak since we do. Maybe 1 or 2 others don't, but I'd be curious to look that up. I wouldn't be surprised if every team does, honestly. It's an interesting one. I'll maybe look into that later. But, wow. Devils, massive win at home, 3 in a row. Destroy the Rangers on the season series. I mean, it's beautiful. The Rangers are one step closer to the golf course. They're going to have some soul-searching to do in the offseason. I mean, how do you go from regular season champions last year to not even in the playoffs this year? President's Trophy winners in 23-24 for the most points in the league, or as James Dolan would call them, regular season champions. That's the banner he decided to hang up in Madison Square Garden. In the words of Sebastian Maniscalco, aren't you embarrassed? Regular season champions? Brutal stuff. But yeah, I don't shed a tear for the Rangers or their fans, some of the most obnoxious people on the planet. Shout out to some of the Ranger fans that are cordial and normal. Some of them stop in the lives once in a while to say hello or talk some hockey, but they are in the vast minority. The majority of them are painful, at least on the internets. Couldn't wish that fortune on a nicer hockey club, but here it is, guys. We are just so close, and you know your boy Ace is going to be celebrating when it's official, and I'm hoping it could happen Tuesday. Wow. If those losses on the out-of-town scoreboard happen, and we could clinch on Tuesday night with a victory and get the 4-game winning streak in the bag, obviously game of the season, guys. You know I'm very quick to call each and every new game the game of the season and the third period of the season, and it's true. The stakes are the highest, and while it looks like we are going to the playoffs, nearly a certainty, not quite a certainty, but nearly a certainty, some help on the out-of-town scoreboard in conjunction with the Devils winning on Tuesday to clinch would be phenomenal. And a 4-game winning streak, wow. Wow, but let me know what you thought about this game in the comments. I'm very curious. We'll probably get some trolling Rangers fans, I'm sure. Maybe they're just so checked out they don't even bother to troll anymore, given that we just smashed them on the season and that their season's over. Maybe they've moved on to the Yankees or Mets baseball or something else. But I guess, you know, their hockey season's essentially over, and it's unfortunate for them, but Dems the breaks. Shout out to everybody that came by the Post-Postgame Live. Those are always fun. If you're not familiar with the Post-Postgame Live, I do a live Devils show after every game. Usually after the MSG broadcast goes off the air, I'll jump on and, you know, do my little recap and pull up questions, comments, and whatever from the viewers. Usually a good time, but if you haven't seen one of those, check that out. I'll put the link in the description for that as well. But it's fun, guys. We are most likely headed back to the playoffs after missing out last year, and you know, it's been nearly 2 calendar years since our last playoff game. You know, it was mid-May against the Canes in round 2, and that's nearly 2 years ago, and that's just way too damn long. Your New Jersey Devils, my friends, are going to be playing hockey in May. Even if they don't do well in the first round, I think it would, maybe not. Maybe they won't be into May, but it'll be close to May. But hopefully it is into May, and hopefully later than that. I do believe in this team while embracing playoff hockey with a hot Jacob Markstrom. And if the big guns, like I said, if the big guns are the big guns, you know, Bratt, Nico, Timo, and then we just get some random contributions from the bottom 6, a little Cotter goal over there, maybe a random defenseman goal over here. With a hot Markey, I do believe we could take the Canes out and get some retribution. I hate them. Oh, they've had our number for so long. I hate the Canes, but I'm super jacked, guys. While getting to the playoffs in itself is not a massive accomplishment, in my opinion, you know, your boy Ace has the bar much higher than that, and you know, when playoffs was our birthright during the Lou years, it seems a little silly to be kind of, you know, for just making the playoffs. But given the injuries we suffered this season and the deadline acquisitions, all of that in conjunction, it did seem like the hockey world at large wrote us off for dead. And here we are making the playoffs. So it is a big accomplishment for this group that they buckled down and overcame all the adversity thrown their way. But just getting to the playoffs is not, you know, parade worthy. Nothing short of a cup is parade-worthy, but if we could just win a round, and especially against the Canes this season, that would be a pretty damn good season, even if they lost in round 2. Obviously, I want them to go as far as possible and win a cup, but even winning the first round against the Canes would be huge, and then if they could go further than that, that would be just dynamite. Just absolute dynamite, but I'm still sticking with my prediction. Preseason prediction, your boy Ace said we were going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm sticking by that. Somehow, someway, this Devils club, largely in part to Jacob Markstrom standing on his head, find a way to beat the Canes and get some revenge in round 1, and then they somehow find a way to get out of round 2, whoever that may be that awaits them in round 2. I would love to see it. Would love to be here celebrating with you all in the post-game lives, and wow, but what a day. What a day. I'll have some bonus coverage coming later on tonight or possibly the following day. It all depends how it shakes out. But your boy Ace, aside from the New Jersey Devils, he does love the sport of hockey as a whole, and I will be heading out to Long Island to UBS with one of my longtime childhood friends, Pat, to try to see, or to hope to see, I should say, hoping to see Alexander Ovechkin become the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer, looking to surpass Wayne Gretzky's 894. They're currently tied, and the building is going to be electric, and you know your boy will be there vlogging the entire thing. hoping to be part of hockey history. I feel privileged that I am the age I am and kind of fit in the window where I was able to see the great Martin Brodeur become the NHL all-time winningest goalie with that 552nd win that he registered over the Blackhawks in March of 2009. That was a huge moment in NHL history, and this one's obviously much bigger. Obviously, for me, the Marty one, I love Marty. Devils are my team, so to see Marty do that was amazing. But in terms of the history of the sport, the Gretzky goal record is probably the biggest one, out there. And Ovechkin will break it. It's just a matter of when and where. But I'm hoping it's against the Islanders later today. But that's it, guys. Throw anything out there in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the game. Anything, everything Devils hockey. I enjoy talking to all of you. And we're almost ready for the second season here. The postseason, a blank slate, a whole new season, and I am beyond jacked. It's been way too long. But thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.